Hi everybody, thank you for joining me for today's video. My name is David. This channel is DeMars Coaching and I make a lot of different videos, a lot about psychology, abuse, neglect, toxic people. I make a lot of videos about borderline personality disorder, and this is another one, and it's one of the biggest issues with people with this disorder. Fear of abandonment, right? This disorder requires a specific diagnostic criteria, and borderline personality disorder, people with it, they may not exhibit every single trait. This one, they may all have to some degree, some spectrum of fear of abandonment. They may be completely ruled by it, and it may be the most profound thing in your relationship with them. Okay? I want to go over this, and I have before. I've talked about this many times, and I have a lot of other videos about borderline personality disorder. If you're interested, go look at my playlist. But I want to talk about this again. And because I get so many questions about it from my clients and from you guys in the comment section, and I want you to try to understand this. I'm even asked, are they genuine? Is it real? Are they just lying, pretending, playing the victim, and stuff like this? Fear of abandonment is immense. It's intense. It's pervasive, okay, with people with this disorder. And why? Where does it come from? It comes from experiences. Fears come from bad experiences or the unknown. Okay? These fears of abandonment comes from experiences, meaning they've been abandoned. And I have spoken with many parents who have children with this disorder, and they are adamant about, I've never abused them, I've never neglected them, I've never abandoned them. I don't know what to tell you about that. I'm not trying to sit here and say, yes, you have. I'm telling you that this disorder starts and begins and is all about abandonment. This disorder, even though we don't diagnose children with this disorder, I believe the disorder starts in childhood. And there's the three major components who make up who we are: genetics, culture, and our upbringing, our environment. And all three of these play factors in this disorder. But the experiences of abandonment are real. And for those parents out there who don't believe they abandoned their borderline child, then let's just say perceived, okay? And let's also acknowledge that we may not be completely aware of everything we did 20 years ago, okay? Or didn't do. There are all kinds of forms of abandonment. And some of the most common is rejecting a baby. A mother rejecting their baby. Could start right there. Not connecting with their child, no emotional connection, not enough attention, not enough affection, not enough intimacy. An unstable mother who's being emotionally abused from the dad, neglected, depressed, anxious, addictions. The mother lets or allows other people to abuse the child, even if she's not aware of it. It's abandonment. It's abandonment. And this is where people with borderline personality disorder get this fear of abandonment from. Their experiences from being abandoned. So it's real. They're afraid of the same thing happening over and over again because when they were children, they had no control. There's nothing they could do about being abandoned. They were just abandoned. And so all they can do is be hyper vigilant, is how they feel. They don't understand what they can do for themselves now as an adult. And the problem with being neglected as a child means that your emotional needs weren't met. The most important thing in our life, and maybe possibly the most important emotional need, is emotional security. And this is the problem with having relationships for people with borderline personality disorder and for people that have relationships with people with BPD. The problem lies in security, emotional security. We have emotional needs. And we must know how to meet them for ourselves first. And then we enter relationships where we can meet those needs for our partners. And so our partners can help meet them for us. But it begins with ourselves first. And I have to be able to supply myself with emotional security, reassure myself that I'll always be okay. If I cannot do that, if I am incapable, not reliant enough to comfort myself, reassure myself, and give myself emotional security, I will be dependent on others. Who we are emotionally is internal. And how we take care of ourselves also is internal, meaning we do this. We take care of ourselves. Children can't. They're dependent and reliant on others. And the care that they supply to the child teaches them how to care for themselves eventually. But a borderline personality disorder person can't care for themselves emotionally, meaning they cannot reassure themselves. And so they are dependent on an outside external source. Just like if we're dependent on making ourselves happy on an external source like a drug. People will tell you they take cocaine because it makes them feel good. It makes them happy. How long? I mean, these things have massive side effects. But it's an external source. And an external source will never be enough, ever. Drugs will never keep me happy, right? Money will never be enough. Looks will fade, all these things. It's external. And so someone with BPD who cannot reassure themselves cannot have a functioning relationship. They can't. I'm not damning them. I'm saying because you can't reassure yourself, that's the problem. That's what needs to be fixed. Then you can have relationships with other people. But if you have a relationship, all of you out there who have had relationships with people with this disorder, or if you're having one or you're going to, if this person cannot reassure themselves, it will be absolute hell. Torture. This hypervigilance that they have, meaning I can't ever be abandoned again, can make it very difficult for them to commit, to invest. Very demanding. Reassure me all the time. All the time. This causes problems, obviously, when you aren't around long enough. Object constancy. When you're working 8-10 hours a day. When you are with another member of the opposite sex too long. When you're talking to them too much. Perceived fears will arise in people with borderline personality disorder. They will perceive these fears, and it's hypervigilance to keep themselves safe because they don't know how to do it themselves. If a mom can't reassure a child, the child cannot reassure themselves. It starts with the mom, okay? And this causes lack of self-reliance, can't take care of themselves. No self-reassurance means I do not have emotional security. That makes me incapable, and it makes me look for someone else to fulfill this need. An outside source, someone else. Are you going to leave me? Do you not love me anymore? Are you not attracted to me anymore? Do you still want to get married? You don't want to get married? Do you like her more than me? Are you attracted to them more than me? I know they're better than me. I know they probably could make you happier than me. They're more stable than me. They have more money than me. Again, one last time. If a person can't reassure themselves, you can't reassure them. It's just like somebody who believes they're ugly and they're beautiful. It won't matter what you tell them. They have to do something for themselves internally. And that's what lasts forever. And the person that can reassure themselves has the capability of reassuring you. And the person that cannot reassure themselves, you cannot reassure. You cannot provide them security. And they cannot provide security for you. Because anyone unstable cannot do that. Does this make sense? Do you guys understand this a little better today? Please let me know. And please keep asking me questions. I think understanding experiences that we have that may be traumatic, loss, grief, failure, it helps us. It helps us accept what happened and not beat ourselves up and not carry toxic shame forever. Let me know what you guys think and ask questions, okay? I'd love to hear your guys' examples and of your experiences down below. And let me know, please, if this makes sense to you, you guys understand this, and so that you understand your experience, as traumatic and awful as it might have been. Because people with fear of abandonment tend to abandon relationships, and you won't meet your needs. The same reasons that give them fear of abandonment. No security. If you've never been an insecure person, you probably will be with a borderline. Okay, That's it, guys. Thank you. Let me know what you guys think. Ask questions. Love yourself first, and I'll see you again later. Bye.